In the film Air, Ben Affleck stars as Nike co-founder Phil Knight, while Matt Damon stars as Sonny Vaccaro, Knight's friend and colleague from the early days of Nike, set on striking a business deal with a young rookie named Michael Jordan. Now, as we know, it went pretty well, but in this case, knowing the beginning is far more fascinating than the end. So let's talk to the man himself who brokered that deal. Sonny Vaccaro joins us now. Sonny, on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How's it going, my man?
Well, young lady, is this Stacy? I saw.
This is. Yes, I'm Stacy.
Okay,
You're talking with Michael as well.
Okay, both of you. I know. Okay, well, your voice. Okay, forget about you and Michael and Sonny. The movie is going unbelievable. I'm nervous. You wait for anticipation and all that sort of stuff, Stacy and Michael. But now the things are happening. People are writing, but people are standing in line. It's going great. It's take me to ask me another question, but it's going great. The first 2 days have been unbelievable. Go ahead.
That's awesome, Sonny, man. My kids are extremely excited to see it. I have a 10 and a 12-year-old. They know all about Jordan and Nike, but I can't really explain it to them the way I feel like them reading the articles or watching the movie will explain just the history of how all this went down. When did you get involved? When did you hear about the movie, the plans for the movie, and what were your initial thoughts?
Okay. The plans are gang, Seattle. Sonny Vaccaro knew nothing about this movie until everything was scripted. The writer had written one. The actors, Ben and Matt, and the other people haven't said something. I was invited to see, the people who are running it. Okay, Peter Guber, the major player in sports and movies. He owns Mandalay Bay. To his home, the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday when they played in Los Angeles, to tell us what they had in mind and what they were doing. A friend of mine, well, not a friend, Mandalay Bay produced a documentary on me, Soul Man. Mm-hmm. So I knew John Weinbach, who directed that, and he was involved with this movie. John gave me a call like a week before and said, Sonny, I can't tell you what this is about, but can you and Pam make it to L.A.? So now I'm invited to meet Peter Guber, who I obviously knew the name. Nothing else. We go there. And we go to the mansion, we go to his home, and we're there, and there are 15 other people there, all people connected with this movie, which I knew nothing about. I sit down, and Mr. Gruber makes a little thank you for coming speech, and then what he says to me, they gave me the name. We're doing a story about the man who signed Michael Jordan. That was the original name of the thing instead of Air at that time. That's what it was. And they were going along, and they said they wanted me involved, but they wanted me involved as a consultant. We want you to consult. You will have nothing to do with the script. You will have nothing to do with the actors or actresses who play. So they were saying to me, I had nothing to do. But also, audience, being a public person, I had no say of what they would put in there anyway. They could have portrayed me however they wanted, and you guys know that's what it is. You're a public person. The media can do whatever they want with you, I guess, within reason or not reason. So they explained, we were there for 2-3 hours, and Mr. Guber explained that I would, apprehensive, because if any of you know me, or the ones listening to you know a little bit about me, I've been pretty controversial and pretty much different than the average guy in the street and all the things I've been involved with, and especially with Michael, because I hadn't seen him in a long time. So we agreed. He told us what would happen. We didn't sign anything else right there, but he told us why, and it would be good. So talking to all the other people. So the idea was that I would meet the people, go over the script. Well, the young writer, Alex, who wrote it, was there obviously that day. Alex and I, talked. I talked to everybody. And what he wanted to do was drive to Palm Springs. That's where we live. It's 140 miles from L.A. and spend some time with me. And he did. He drove up in the morning. He spent 3 hours with Pam and I at a restaurant right across from where we live. And then he rode home. On that 3 hours, we had an awakening to what he was writing about in the script. I still hadn't seen the script. Mm-hmm. He told me what his subjects were, how he was going to approach eating. So that starts it off. Now he's home. Now it's about maybe 7 to 10 days after that meeting. And they call me and say, Matt Damon's going to call me. We're going to do a Zoom. We did a 90-minute Zoom call with Matt on that first morning. After the Zoom call, Matt asked, all the whereabouts and how things happened, just verbally. I never met Matt. Then what happened? Mr. Guber invited Pam and I to a set So they're filming everything in Los Angeles. A lot of the movie, you get different sites where things happened and all that. Most 99% was in Los Angeles. So we go down there. We're on the set. We spent 6 hours with them. I actually saw while they were filming. I don't think it was the actual what they actually edited to, but I saw the scene where David Falk and I, Matt Damon and Chris Messina, who plays David Falk, have a pretty hectic scene in there. Then I saw the part where I met Mrs. Jordan. I went. I saw that one shot. So but there's other scenes. So now Matt and I are talking. I see those things, and from that day on, I was in touch with somebody from Amazon or the set, and I got to know the characters very well. Matt and I got very close, especially at the week of the premiere, because we went early, and you guys probably know Hollywood things. That the first time Pam and I ever experienced it, they had like 1,000 people there and 2 blocks off in a tent, and I got to meet Viola and her husband, at the party, because I still never met. So to tell you that I know all the scenes, I can tell your audience, they're basically all true. There's an extension of a lot of things in there, but they're not lies. They're not lies. They're just extension of of makes them that movie. So that's so good. Give me another question, guys.
Now, Sonny, you're not really like a big shoe guy. However, this partnership that you brokered with Michael Jordan and Nike led to the biggest crossover of sports and culture, and led to a huge cultural impact with the Air Jordans. So what got you involved in the deal? I mean, it sounds silly, but like, why Michael Jordan? Did you have to convince anyone? What was it like meeting with Jordan when he was younger? Just walk us through that.
Well, Steve, you're going to get answers to this question that don't apply to your question, because
great.
When I was invited, I was hired by Nike. I was never looking for a job. I got the job at Nike because they had an all-star game called the Dapper Dan Roundball Classic in Pittsburgh, which had all the high school all-stars at just one game, never done before. 13 years ahead of the McDonald's game, my all-star game. I had graded, they didn't have their own game until 77. I had it from 1964. So I had known all the high school kids because the camps I ran and everything, and which therefore transferred to the college kids because they all played. Most of the great ones played in that game, okay, even before I had the camps. So I go to Nike. I'm looking for donations or money to sponsor the round ball. Like, they're a brand new company. They just got started a few years before that, and they weren't in basketball at all. But I found out through attorney friends of mine that actually they were agents who covered their clients for it. So I fly to Nike and I ask them, can they give me $10,000 to help sponsor Roundball for expenses? Can they give me all the uniforms and jerseys and shoes, obviously, for the players for nothing?
Yeah.
So we didn't have to buy them or kiss somebody's rear end Converse. They were the only ones that. That's how I got involved. I convinced them. They came to Pittsburgh, saw 17,000 people in the stands for a high school game, met every college coach in the country. I go home, Rob Strasser in the movie, who was basically my boss all those years, saw something different. They invited me out. The first time I bought my own ticket. This time they paid for the ticket, which is great. I get there, and they're going to give me the shoes. They're going to do all these sort of stuff. But they said, how can we get involved in college basketball? Then I said, a line that I had no idea I was saying in my life. I said, well, I'll get you in. What do you mean you'll get you in? Well, I know all the college coaches. Well, what does that mean? Well, pay the college coaches to wear the shoe. Okay, give them money, and then they'll get there, and we'll give the school all the uniforms and all the T-shirts they want for the coaches' camps. But they're going to put the shoes and the uniforms on the kids, and we're going to have Nike on there. That's how that's happened. An accident.
Yeah.
An accident.
Yeah.
So that was. And going back to, I know you two know the great thing, that if I live to tell anything more, and I stop now, was at O'Bannon. Well, I would have paid kids 1977. That's the point I'm trying to make. The kids run everything. They run the whole sports. I mean, they buy everything. That's my point. Okay, so they did. We did. Now I'm running the college. I had nothing to do with pro basketball. Nothing. There were Moses Malone had it. A lot of guys were wearing Nike, but nobody knew it. Magic Johnson wore Converse. Larry Bird, Julius. If anybody should have been Air Jordan a long time ago, should have been those guys. But why? They weren't advertised. They weren't marketed. They were paid $75,000, $50,000, $100,000 That was the most they ever got paid too. So now they bring me into a meeting. I'm a transit. In the movie, it looks like I lived there. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't live in Portland more than 2 days of life of the whole damn thing in a week. Never. Okay, so now I'm there. And Rob calls me. Pam and I were living in Vegas at the time. He says, "You got to come up here. We're having an important meeting. We want you involved." I don't know what it is. I said, "Right, just get your butt up here. We're going to do it tomorrow, whatever day that was." I fly in. I go to a meeting, and there's 5 other people in there, and Rob and Peter and a couple other people. And what they told me then, for the first time I ever heard, that Nike was going to invest $500,000 in athletes, basketball players, to wear their shoe the next year. And we were going to pay them, and they were really going to invest money and market the athletes. So now we're doing all that stuff. And so everyone's asked a question. And a man named Howard Slusher, you may or may not know, but at one time he was the most important football agent in the world. He was, Hold Out Howard was his name.
Hold Out Howard.
So now that all happens. They asked Howard, and they asked this guy, that guy, and the other guy. And then it comes to me by coincidence. I was the last guy. Now, I never met Michael Jordan in my life in Paris. In fact, I didn't like Michael Jordan or know Michael Jordan not to like him. But they asked me a question, and I said, it came out of my mouth because that's been quoted 1,000 times, give it to the kid. I didn't even say his name. He said, well, what kid? I said, give it all to the kid. Well, the kid from North Carolina, Jordan, Michael Jordan. They said, do you want to give all the money? And that's how it started.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, but seriously, it was contentious for a while. It wasn't sold that well, right away.
Yeah.
Because the other guys, they were picking 2 and 3 guys. And Slusher said to me,
Wait, Sonny, I don't want to have any spoilers for the film. I don't want to have any spoilers. I need to get people out there to watch it. So we'll use that as a tease.
Go to the next question.
No.
I knew nothing about Michael. They listen to me.
Okay, so you guys, that's how we're going to, we only have you for this long, but that's a perfect place to end it because that's where you guys are starting with this movie, and then you'll find out what happened and how they finally got Jordan on board. Sonny, we are so grateful for you taking, a couple minutes of your time here to join us, and I know Bump, he mentioned this, he and his kids can't wait to see it. Curtis and I can't wait to go see it. We got a bunch of sneakerheads in the office that cannot wait to go see this, and this is all possible because of what you did with Michael Jordan. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sonny.
Stacey, and I'll tell you what, you got an open invitation to call me and BS.
Oh.
Let's just talk next time, all right?
Thank you. Thanks, Sonny.
All right, God bless. Have a great day.